Yo, what's happening, ladies and gents? So, like the title says, the lower self and the higher self. What it means, how I'm going to explain it, yada yada yada. Okay, guys, let's get into this. So, previously on the channel, I have done a video that denotes the esoteric or spiritual meaning of the triquetra, right, which represents the three aspects of human consciousness. Okay, now this ties in to the lower and the higher self. Okay, guys, so just a broad concept of what the lower and higher self means. It means your eternal self and your mortal self, guys, right? Now you have an eternal state, which is the creature that's observing the thoughts, the emotions, and the actions, okay? And then you have the creature that is the thoughts, the emotions, and the actions. And one is the higher self, being the creature that's observing the lower self, which is the physical creature with the emotions, the thoughts, and the actions. So, emotions, thoughts, and actions are all ties, you could say, to the lower self, guys, okay? Every time you have an emotion, every time you do something, or every time you think about something, you are operating from the lower self, okay? So in the Gnostic scriptures, Jesus talks about releasing the five senses, guys, right? Which includes thinking, right? And once you do that, you start to feel or identify or observe yourself, the observer behind the actions, the thoughts, and the emotions. Okay? So this could be another way you think of the higher and lower self, okay? You have the higher self, which is eternal, which is beyond the cycle of life and death, beyond mortality. And then, of course, you have the lower self, which is mortal, which can live and die, is stuck in a cycle of reincarnation, and is susceptible to earthly desires, guys. Okay, now that one's very important, okay, because they're all ties to the lower self, whether it be love, whether it be material possession, whether it be familial love, intimate love, whatever, guys, okay? They're all ties to the lower self, and they are all temptations to desire, to earthly desire, which will mean that you reincarnate back into physical life, all right? So that's what that's how it all ties in, guys, okay? And that's the meaning of the lower and higher self as taught to me by Annabeth, a druidess, a arch-druidess, sorry. And now I'm saying it to you guys, right? That is the concept, according to the druids, of the lower and the higher self, guys, right? Now I'm allowed to tell you about this because you can already discover it for yourself, and it's what's known as permissible knowledge, guys, right? Which means I can talk about it freely. I'm in no danger of incurring the death penalty from my brethren, all right? And the real druids, guys, we do hold that creed. We are not to speak to anyone apart from a student or acolyte, or a fellow practicing druid, arch-druid, bard, or ovate, and we are not allowed to pass the knowledge on freely over the internet and speak about it freely unless it's with a bard, ovate, or fellow student or whatever, right? So there's certain things I can talk about on the channel, and then there's certain things I can't because I'll have my bloody head chopped off. But yes, guys, there's a public type of druid out there that they are not real druids, guys. Okay, they're not real druids, they just pretend to be, right? But then there's other druids out there that took the creed, that have rules, regulations, and things to follow, and we certainly don't worship any deities or gods, guys, right? The not so real druids, they do, and they're public for a reason. But yes, guys, that's the teaching of the lower and the higher self, and that's how you can relate it to other spiritual teachings. Okay, guys, I'm out. Peace.